So here we are again.
24 hours of Fortec.
No, you did it wrong. It's 24 tech hours of mayhem.
Oh, yeah. 20. Start that over.
I'm leaving all that in.
24 tech hours.
There you go.
Nailed it this time.
24 tech hours of mayhem. We saw this deal. Traxxas is offering 2 of their Factory 5 hot rods for $299, which is a pretty smashing deal. So Josh and I took advantage of that, and we're going to do a little mayhem.
We're going to do a rally conversion.
Yes, we're taking these cars, and we're taking the Fortec platform, which is a great all-wheel drive, limited slip differential front and rear kind of platform. We're going to slap some big power into it. We're going to upgrade some of the electronics. We're going to make a bunch of changes to the cars themselves and make these into rally cars.
They're not meant to go off-road, really. The Fortec platform itself is a solid base, but it's not meant for this type of thing. So we're going to have to do just some making it work, which is kind of the mayhem way.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing we've ever done is necessarily easy, and I think that this is a good example of that too. The one big stipulation here is, and I know a lot of you are already thinking this, well, this is cool. They'll be able to put any kind of cool rally car body on this. No, we have to keep these bodies.
Yeah, the whole point, it's got to be a hot rod rally car.
Yes.
So there's the challenge. That is the part that is going to make it difficult.
I don't know why you decided to go with the truck.
Because you wanted the coupe, so I was like, I can't both do coupes.
I've already got a pretty solid idea in place of how I'm going to make this look like a rally car. I've already got a ton of references at my disposal. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to knock out this 24 tech hours.
You'd be amazed at how little there is for rally truck that looks like a truck. We're gonna have to just take some liberties and make some bold decisions, and then try and in the end make it not look like a hot rod.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun.
I think it'll be a fun. It's a quick challenge, and it's one that I think a lot of you could easily participate in if you wanted to, because there's really not much that we're doing that you couldn't do.
We got 24 hours, so I'm wasting time talking to you.
Yeah, I'm done with you already. I mean, that's par for the course. But yeah, this is going to be a fun one, but definitely on a cosmetic level, I think I've got this nailed, as usual.
That is my weakest area, so I'm worried.
I've already won. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
We need more of these, actually. More of the cosmetic change competitions. I think I've got those. So
I'm in trouble. Let's jump into this.
So there you have it. We're getting started. This is going to be, actually, I think it's going to be pretty fun, because my plan is to take this car, this hot rod, and make it into more of a rally car that's inspired by some of the old 1920s, 1930s cars that were doing rally at that time. And they're always really decked out in really cool, nice colors, very classic, very British. So that's the route that we're going to go, and we're just going to get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mechanically replace all the things that I can and try to upgrade this car to make it as rally-friendly as possible. And of course, that means putting in a Valinion 3S brushless system. And I think this is the sort of power you're going to want in this tiny four-wheel drive car to give it that go to make it feel like a rally car. This is the perfect choice because it's basically made for this. So we're gonna put that in, we're gonna upgrade all of the suspension arms, we're going to change the wheels and tires, and we're gonna put in a much more powerful servo as well. So let's get on that. Okay, mechanically we're all done. We've got the Valineon system installed. We've got that new, much more powerful servo installed. We've got all the aluminum suspension bits installed as well. We've also got new wheels and tires on there. I found these on Amazon. They're still the 75mm size that comes on a Vortex, so we're not going too much larger, which I thought was sort of wise. In order to make that servo and the steering bits work, I did have to trim a little bit of material away from the front of the servo case. Not a big deal, it's plastic, and it's just to help get that steering system to not bind up, which is sort of key. Now, I did also try cutting away some of the material here around the suspension lower arms to see if I could get any more clearance, to get any more down travel. Just doesn't offer any more. That's all there is in this. And those tabs were probably there just to help limit it, but I'm literally maybe getting a few millimeters or a degree or two at most of more down travel. That's it. The only other thing, when you install the 3S Valineon VXL system, you do need to replace the two existing screws with longer ones and some lock nuts to hold everything in place. But otherwise, it's really just meant to be there. I'm going with the stock gearing for now. It's probably going to be way too much. But who said power isn't good? Although I am more the Captain Slow of this group. Well, let's see how that all runs. Mechanically, I think that's pretty much all we needed to accomplish. There is still a significant amount of suspension travel there. And actually, that's pretty good. I think that's probably all you'd want for a modern rally car anyway. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so now that the chassis is done, I've already gone to the trouble of taking all of the external plastic parts off of this body. Now, we're going to be modifying this and painting it. So the first thing we're going to need to do is remove the rest of these decals here, give it a good cleaning on the outside. There's really only 1, 2, 3 decals to worry about, so we'll get all those off. These older style rally cars didn't usually have a top. I think that was sort of the style at the time. Put on your goggles and scarf and leather hat and off you go. So we're going to do that too. We'll probably trim out the edges of these fenders a bit more to give it a bit more clearance. Because these tires, while they aren't much bigger, the knobbiness of them does kind of definitely get in the way, and there would be some rubbing. So we're going to trim out these fenders a little bit, get rid of the roof. We're going to explore putting a spare tire on the back somewhere. We're going to load it up with accessories as well. All these old-timey rally cars always had like luggage or satchels or suitcase style things strapped to the side, so we're going to definitely add those as well. I wouldn't be able to call this my project without changing the paint. We'll also put a clear windshield in the front, and we're probably going to cut out the windows on the sides. So let's start doing some trimming. when you're looking to remove any of the residue from a sticker or a decal that you've taken off a body before you're going to prep it for paint, I do highly recommend Goo Gone, not Goof Off. One will take paint off, the other will only take residue off. So highly recommend Goo Gone. This stuff is a lifesaver. You know how I know the difference between those two products? This one says Surface Safe on it. Now there's not a ton of residue left over, but there is a little bit. And I just like to go over the areas where the decals were, just in case. And I let that kind of set, and then I'll go back and hit it again with the paper towel just to make sure all that residue is gone. Because we are going to, obviously, we'll wash the body prior to painting it. But we, you know, just like to go back in and make sure. Because, I mean, you wouldn't want to leave this residue on prior to paint, because it will affect how the paint adheres to the body. And we'll use, you know, polycarbonate style paint to get this started. And then once we've got a good base, we can probably go in and use some of our acrylics or airbrush, whatever we kind of feel we need to get the look that we're going for. All right, there we go. Now we've also got the windshield cut out there now as well. I think that's looking pretty good. Plenty of space now for an interior, and that's probably what we should start working on next before we get into paint, because we do want to make sure everything's going to fit. And we don't want to wreck the new paint job. So let me go find an interior that might work. Your suggestions would be highly appreciated at this point. Because it's got to be something I've got around. All the hobby shops close in about an hour. Well, hot dog, I think we've got a wiener. Yeah, that's the Tamiya rally car interior with a left-hand drive. It's obviously a little bit wider, and we'll need to contour quite a bit towards the front in order to fit this body, but I think that's going to work. I think that's going to look really good in there. We're going to lose a little bit of some of the details on the back half here, but that's okay. I think this is going to look pretty good in there. Yep, I'm happy. Okay, let's get to trimming this, making sure that's going to fit. Obviously, we're going to prime and paint this piece on its own, which is a mighty big task in 24 hours, but let's see how far we get with that. This is going to be fun. Okay, first few steps of painting are done. Now you can see it's British Racing Green, perfect color for a 20s, 30s Roadster rally car. I think that's pretty appropriate. Went with a chrome or metallic hood and side panels here because we're going to do a little bit of detail work there to kind of really make that pop and really kind of feel a little more old school. What else have we done? I also started getting the grill all set up there, so that's just to knock it back so it's not all chrome, blacked out, and then flat blacked the center portion. We're gonna hand paint a number on there, I think. I think that'll look pretty cool once that gets installed there. That looks already pretty awesome. I've got the Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon. I'm printing some accessories. We're kind of like going to try to build this out so it's got a bunch of stuff on it, because I think in the rally cars of that era, they would just load the car up with everything because they'd be camping out in the middle of nowhere. So we're going to get some bedrolls on there. We've got some satchels that I'm going to detail and paint to look like they're leather. Maybe even add some like suitcase or like some tarped stuff just to kind of like add to the... This is not a quiet printer. It can be pretty loud, but it is awesome. So yeah, we're going to load it up with details. Then we're going to start weathering this paint job, kind of make it feel like it's already been through a rally. I know a lot of people are always like, well, why don't you just run it? Then it'll look like it's been weathered. And it's like, yes, but this is just part of the process for me. I like doing it. Also, the interior has been primed, and it looks pretty awesome in there, if I do say so myself. We're gonna spray this with the airbrush and kind of detail it by hand. Should be a pretty fun process. But I think we're gonna go brown to kind of like, I think that would be kind of period correct, like a brown leather. It's sort of the look I'm going for anyway. So we're gonna get started on that here in a little bit, and just kind of keep on trucking, or carring, as it were. Terrible. Okay, well, I think that's probably it for tonight. We're in pretty good shape, though. I'm feeling pretty confident about being able to finish this in 24 hours. Like I said, it's not a big mechanical change. We added some parts and we're gonna make it go faster, but really it's all about the cosmetic stuff for me, as usual. And I think we're getting there on this sort of look. I'm feeling really good about the paint. I like that chrome hood. I think that kind of adds a nice little nod to that old-timey look. The British Racing Green is great. The hand-drawn numbers, I think, are really setting it off. The grille looks awesome. The interior is looking pretty darn good too, as you can see. It's all in there and looking pretty decent. I really like how the fit is on that. It's better than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, there you go. That's sort of where we're at with the car itself. The Bamboo Carbon X1 just finished printing a whole bunch of little bags and satchels and bedrolls, and even made a little, it's sort of like a rally shield. I might glue that to the top of the hood. They have them in actual rally cars from this era, so made sense to do one of those. This printer is fantastic. This took about 3 hours to print all of these parts. It actually, I also did a light bar as well. This is from Night Customs. Not thrilled with the way I did the supports. I probably should have just laid it this way instead of laying it this way. So that was a user error. So we're going to go outside, prime these, and we're going to leave that for tonight. Oh, got the window in as well. So, yeah, feeling pretty good. What do I have to do still? Lots of painting and weathering. I've got to put the mirrors back on. Got to do the heads for the drivers. We've got to secure that interior plate into this car. And then that's probably it. Oh, maybe put the spare on the back too. Yeah, it's probably... we'll probably end up doing that. That looks good. Yeah. Cool. So that's it for tonight. Okay, new day. We've got all those these parts. We've got all these little accessories primed now, and we're gonna start shooting some color on those. I kind of looked at this again this morning, and I'm not sure I'm in love with this sort of the amount of chrome that there is on the front there. I think it's almost too much. So what I'm gonna do, I think, is design up and print some louvers for the hood. Which I'll do in like black or something, just to kind of break up all of that space. It does feel like a lot. I'm also really disappointed in my my drawing of rivets along the edge of that. I think that looks pretty terrible now that I look at it with fresh eyes. So we're probably, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Maybe we'll see if I can get it to come off, or maybe we'll have to paint a stripe on there or something. Or, you know, maybe just with some weathering it'll look better. I used to, like, I had rivets. I did a whole, like, 300 and something rivets on the steam truck. I wish that I had more of those, because that's what I would have done. I think that would have looked a lot better than what I did here. This looks just kind of bad. Doesn't look very good. Kind of disappointed about that. Okay, that's fine. We can fix that. Let's start getting some of these things painted and attached to the car, and we'll see where we end up. Crunch time. Got to get those heads done too. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. Mostly done in terms of major details, interior, accessories, paint, decals. I haven't even really thought about that yet. But for the most part, this is how it's going to look when it's done. There are a few more weathering things I want to do. I do want to weather the body overall, just to give it kind of like a more rustic, used look. But otherwise, yeah, this is pretty much it. Lots of nice little detail parts that got painted and look really good on here. Love the interior, love all the little accessories that I've added. The paint looks pretty good too. It definitely does need to be weathered though. So that's the next step, and then that's going to be it. Then we're done, finished, finito, and just in time too, because we're down to like the last hour. I think I spent more time sleeping this time around, so it didn't really require too much more effort than I think what you see here. I do feel like I did a pretty decent job, and definitely recreated the look that I was going for, and that was the intention really. So I'm pretty happy with the results so far. Let's wrap this one up, man. These challenges are tough. Is this something that you would ever consider doing? Put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of them as I can. And if you're enjoying this video, you like Mayhem, you like 24 hours of Mayhem, you like monthly Mayhem, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. Okay, last few details to wrap up. We've got the running board, metal diamond plate style styrene on there. We've got our hood louvers as well, which I think look pretty good on there actually. This has really come together quite nicely. I'm pretty pleased with the results. We're just going to do a quick little weathering. We're going to kind of, hit it with some airbrushing and just kind of, dust it up a little bit like it's been running in a true rally race. So that's our last step. So let's get on that real quick and get this thing done. There we go, some slight weathering, just to make it look dusty and dirty, like it's gone through a couple of rally stages already, and I think we're done. I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out. It's a simple conversion, not much really required in terms of mechanicals, and it was more about the creativity and making something out of that Factory 5 coupe body to make it more rally inspired, and I think I definitely nailed it. It looks exactly what I kind of hoped it would. And this has been another fun 24 hours of mayhem, or 24 tech hours of mayhem, as it were. There's a lot of room for customization, as you can see. And I'm sure that Josh is also going to wow us with his version. Now, the last thing left to do is take this out, get some pictures, and get some video. And I think once the weather gets a little bit nicer, we're going to go do that. So, yeah. Well, that was a fun 24 hours.
Well spent time. I'm glad it's done.
It's time, well, spent. I pretty much, you know me, it's always more of a cosmetic finish than it is mechanical. I didn't make a lot of changes there.
I feel like you set so much more reasonable goals than I do.
Well, I know how many hours there are in a day.
And maybe don't get distracted with other things as easily.
Yes, that's also correct, yeah. Well, and I also like my sleep too, so I like to budget my time effectively.
I figure in sleep after the fact. So, I forgot but either way, we got something.
Exactly. I'm sure that we're both very reasonably pleased with our result, and they probably look a lot different than when they started.
They should. But on that note, we should note that we won't be showing each other's on this video. You'll have to go watch Matt's video or my video to see each of our final results. So there's no spoilers, just in case you got this far and you haven't seen the other one yet. You'll still get the benefit of that surprise. I went first on the last one of these. So I'm making you go first this time. Executive decision.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are your expectations high or low? Well, here we go.
Hardly looks like the same vehicle. It would be hard. You would be hard pressed to have somebody guess that is what that started as.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I shared it with Richard the other day, and he goes, "What is that?"
Yeah.
So I think it worked. I think it worked. I went for a very 1930s inspired rally car.
Like Euro rally?
Yeah, British Euro rally. And it's got like
the British green
plate on the top. And the British green helps a lot, of course. Yeah. Michelin tires, which are from France.
Aha.
So,
with the restaurants.
But I added a bunch of accessories and license plates and spare tire there. And on a mechanical side of things, I think we both had the same motors and servos and everything, as provided by Traxxas. But I put some more off-roady tires on it, but they're the same diameter as what came on this car, and that's about it.
That is an absolute find.
I tried to adjust the suspension by getting rid of some of these tabs and everything to give it more travel. There's no more travel to be had there, so that's basically it.
The details look great. The interior is fantastic. A nice fit. What is it?
That's a Tamiya rally car interior.
Obviously, that makes perfect sense.
I had to trim it and paint it, of course, but it looks pretty good in there. And the clear windshield helps tremendously.
And very clear it is.
Yes, 'cause it's a piece of Lexan.
Oh, you see, that is the trick. Cutting
That's
it and
the trick.
replacing it, because I've had luck clearing windshields before in these. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, different
Didn't
results
go as well this time?
can be had. That's a much better idea. I will steal that for the next time. Shall I go?
That's where it ended up. Yeah, I'd love to see what you did. I'm very excited.
Now, you started with the coupe. I started with the truck.
Correct.
So, here is also what I have.
Yes. Yes. That's fantastic. Oh my gosh. No way. He's got like a whole like directions of everything and where to go. You guys just like, you're doing fine on your own.
So now that we've both got ours done, we've showed them to each other in their clean state, we should get to go drive these. I didn't drive it yet because I wanted to show it clean, but we should both get some running footage to include in this video.
My thanks again to you for participating. This was a great idea. This is a good deal if you're looking to get two of them. You can't really go wrong. And there's, as you can see, tons of options for customizing. So definitely something you should consider. All right, let's go run them.
Sounds good. Thanks to you as well for participating.
There you go, another 24 hours in the books. Very happy with the results. I would love to see what you do with your Vortex. And if you get the Factory 5, tag me. Show me what you're going to do with yours. I would love to see the results. Thank you so much for watching. It's been another fun one. We'll see you again on the next one.